Stitt and Walters urge the U.S. Supreme Court to take up the St. Isidore lawsuit. A wet November puts a dent in drought, and turnpike toll rates are going up. We'll have details coming up on the KGOU AM News Brief for Monday, November 11th. I'm McDaniels. Governor Kevin Stitt and State Superintendent Ryan Walters are urging the U.S. Supreme Court to take up a case involving what would be the nation's first taxpayer-funded private school. State Impact's Beth Wallace reports the move comes after the statewide charter school board petitioned the High Court last month.
This summer, Oklahoma's Supreme Court ruled the contract for the St. Isidore of Seville Catholic Virtual Charter School was unconstitutional. State Attorney General Gentner Drummond filed the lawsuit a year ago, arguing Oklahoma law prevents taxpayer dollars from going to sectarian institutions. Friday afternoon, Stitt and Walters announced they filed amicus briefs with the U.S. Supreme Court in support of the charter school board. Stitt characterizes the lawsuit as an attack on religious freedom and criticizes Drummond for intolerance. Walters' brief says the Oklahoma court's ruling, quote, transforms the Establishment Clause into a cudgel against the Free Exercise Clause. The nation's high court began its term last month. Oral arguments for cases are generally heard through April. For State Impact, I'm Beth Wallace.
Turning over to the drought situation, parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle were blanketed with more than a foot of snow last week, and the statewide rain average for the weekend was more than 5 inches. OPMX's Anna Pope says it's putting a dent in the state's drought.
Big rainfalls and snowfalls soaked many parched areas of the state, causing the months-long drought to weaken. Oklahoma state climatologist Gary McManus says the state is already experiencing one of its wettest Novembers on record. The latest U.S. Drought Monitor map shows extreme drought has vacated the state, but only 7% of Oklahoma was back to normal as of the most recent drought report on Thursday. I'm Anna Pope.
A chance for more precipitation expected later this week. Oklahomans can expect to pay more to drive on the state's turnpikes. The Turnpike Authority says the costs for improvement projects have gone up considerably due to inflation, and that will result in higher than anticipated tolls. The 15-year access plan, which includes widening turnpikes and building new routes, was originally slated to cost $5 billion. Now it's to the tune of $8.2 billion. Toll hikes are expected soon for Pike Pass customers, following recent increases for plate pay customers who are billed by mail. Meanwhile, Oklahoma's transition to cashless turnpikes will conclude later this month. The Will Rogers Turnpike is set to be the last toll road to convert to cashless on November 20th. Tulsa-born rock musician St. Vincent racked up several Grammy nominations on Friday. OPMX's Ryan LaCroix reports on more Oklahoma connections.
Annie Clark, also known as St. Vincent, earned 4 nominations, including Best Rock Song and Best Alternative Music Album. Also nominated was a soundtrack for the Shot in Oklahoma movie Twisters for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media. It features songs by country stars Luke Combs and Lainey Wilson, as well as Oklahoma musicians Wyatt Flores, Will Dorado, Ken Pomeroy, and James McAllister. The Best Traditional Blues Album category includes the Taj Mahal Sextet's live recording at the Church Studio in Tulsa, while the Best Musical Theater Album category features The Outsiders' musical adaptation of the 1967 S.E. Hinton novel and its subsequent film adaptation in 1983. I'm Ryan LaCroix.
You'll find more news at our website, kgou.org. We also invite you to follow the KGOU PM News Brief podcast.
No matter what happens in Washington, the NPR Politics Podcast is here for you. For the latest news, insights, and analysis from the election and beyond, listen to the NPR Politics Podcast.